So sorry, forgot to record earlier. So with that, we've had a lot of discussions on areas of assisted technology that might help a beekeeper, with a disability, lifting devices, handling devices. You'll see in the videos that we actually have a Purdue team doing kind of a capstone project with a kind of a hand stabilizing device. So we go along the lines of assisted devices, and then we also go along the lines of enabling veterans, because I think the group has a general belief as well within our separate organizations that that there is a benefit to veterans to be in beekeeping, whether it's documented or not. And so we just had to try to meet, not getting in each other's lanes, but augmenting each other's lanes once a month, and just kind of get together and say, this is what I've learned, or this is what somebody else has learned, and synergizing each other. Sometimes it's a grant partnership level letter. Sometimes it is, just an idea. I have somebody with this type of problem, but it's just specific to beekeeping. And so what we want to try to do at Agribility, I think, is take a commodity like beekeeping and just try to drill into it and see if we could bolster our knowledge. Because the end result is a couple fold. One is that we at Agribility have an Agribility is a nonprofit USDA funded NIFA grant. And so we have what's called a toolbox. And so you can go in that toolbox and put in there beekeeping, and it will come up with ideas to help you continue in beekeeping with devices. And I'll send you that link as well, Craig.
I think I've actually, yes, I've been here.
Okay.
I just put up your website. I have been here, and I've seen that section on beekeeping. Again, my mentee had told me about it.
Yeah, so this group, just a bunch of professional beekeepers in different areas and different kind of thought processes or paths. We just want to kind of synergize it and get that idea, or get the criticism, right? To go, hey, that idea is horrible because it does X, Y, and Z. So really, we're just a once a month community of interest. Now, I think the reason Steve might have sent you this is also because one of our goals is to go to, and I just got a conference room and approval from Cayman to go to Hive Life.
Okay.
So I know Steve said you guys had it. We're going to go to Hive Life as well and do a table. We're going to do a table as well. And then I've also got a conference room for Friday night to do a kind of a session with beekeepers that might be interested in this topic, and for opportunities for people to say, hey, this is what I do. If you want any details on how does Hives for Heroes work, or how does Heroes for Hives work, or what about this accessibility tool? We had a gentleman on, and he probably couldn't make it today, that did a unique design for a box that would go into a hive. Charles, the bee listener, and so he's milling out boxes that the bees will make their comb in, and instead of trying to cut the comb from the hive, you just pull out the box and you sell it. He had a couple examples of it, and it's actually pretty good. I'm going to try it this season to see how it works. But
there's a couple systems like that I've seen before. I tried one this year and wasn't successful with it. But I hadn't thought of it as a compartmentalized way to remove honey. So yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, no, so that's all we're trying to do. Again, not maybe just synergize, maybe just find different areas. I think our second meeting, we had a long discussion on AZ hives. Was that you, Mission Bee Life, that did that for us?
We participated in that. Yeah, it's Mission Believe. We're also another veterans and first responder beekeeping program, but we're an educational program. We have a different foundation to our organization.
So you want to tell us a little bit about you then?
All right. Well, Mission Believe, like I just said, is a veterans and first responder educational beekeeping program. Our home base is in Maryland, but we work with veterans and first responders everywhere. We provide them with a textbook and a beginner beekeeping program. We worked with Jamie Ellis, Amy Vu, Cameron Jack, a whole bunch of them, Dr. Humberto, to put together a pretty dynamic beginner class for our veterans and first responders. We were feeling that the one thing that was being missed out there was making sure that they were educated appropriately. We have picked up veterans who picked up beekeeping because they read in the VA magazine that it's a great hobby and it helps with PTSD, but their bees were dying, and I was watching them die inside because their bees were dying. So we decided to make our organization an educational-based program. So we do continued ed every month. We have a monthly meeting at the end of the month, and we take a half an hour and we talk amongst each other, ask bee questions, and then we have a presenter come on and present on a certain entity of beekeeping. If it's not honeybee biology, get a little bit more in depth, like pheromones, brood diseases, treatment, correct ways to do varroa management, stuff like that. Our big tote is sustainability. We want our veterans to be growing their bees and not buying their bees. So
Yeah, super. And
that show.
Oh, I appreciate it. And sorry about mispronouncing the name. I don't have my contacts in and the screen's a bit far for me.
No worries. No worries.
So, hey, Ned, thanks for joining us. We do have Craig today from Hives for Heroes. And I thought, Ned, you might, I explained what Agribility does in the COI. I didn't know if you wanted to say anything.
Well, I'm the assistive technology professional, Craig, for Michigan Agribility. And I've had about 5 or 6 senior design classes work on different types of assistive devices for beekeepers. With moderate success, I think what we learned with each one is how much practice it takes to go from a prototype to actually a useful product. Probably the one that has the most promise is a set of tongs that you can put on a crane, like on the back of a pickup truck, and reach over the side of the pickup and grab a hive and lift it and swing it into the truck. But I'm always on the lookout for the different types of assistive tools, devices, different ways of doing beekeeping that's easier for people that have any kind of a medical impairment, a disabling injury or illness. So that's kind of my background. I've been working with farmers and ranchers, loggers and fishermen with disabilities since 1998.
Okay. I'm looking for an adaptive hive, an adaptive long Langstroth hive that I saw that was made by a long Langstroth vendor at Hive Life. And I'm trying to find and post in the chat for you guys.
Is it the guy in North Carolina?
Yes. He
Yes,
basically put a horizontal hive with adjustable height and basically on a swivel.
Is it horizontalbees.com?
Yes, but he doesn't have a picture of it on his website.
Aren't they part of this, like our community for adaptive beekeeping?
I don't know if they've ever joined the call before. Have they?
Oh, I
I'm
thought
not sure they.
did.
I think they're on maybe once, and then usually Justin's on for him. I texted Justin, but Justin is the one that last week showed some pictures of what they donated to him, or last month, and yeah. So,
Craig, are you talking about the hive that will pivot 45 degrees so somebody that's seated can access the frames?
Yep. Did you see that one?
Yeah, Justin Ruger out in Virginia has one of those, and he sent us some pictures last month.
Oh,
Have you seen one before?
I was wondering if you guys were connected with Ruger.
Yes, we know him, and he's usually on these calls.
Oh, okay.
He's going
Yeah.
through some waters right now, so I think this month is not working out for him.
Yeah, so super. Craig, again, it's great to have you here. And like I said earlier, kind of the people kind of just flex coming. So the two things I wanted to talk about just today, or three things, was Hive Life. So Ned, just so you know, Paul is coordinating to pay for that conference room at Hive Life.
Okay.
And I am working on the food, and we will probably have a display table there as well, because a nonprofit came and sent me, it's $25 for a table, and I'll figure out a way to pay the $25. So I'm not worried
Oh
about it.
yeah, I thought they were already full and didn't have any space for us, so that's great.
So they were,
He did announce a couple weeks ago or so that the vendor space was full. So it sounds like he may have squeezed you in.
he got
Yeah.
a set about a month ago. So I think,
Good.
yeah. So, and then the conference room isn't in the actual conference area. It's going to be in the hotel, because they were out of space they didn't fit into their kind of agenda area, and that's all cool. So he is going to advertise for us and stuff.
Are you aware, Patrick, that there is a bluegrass concert on Friday night that may conflict with your meeting time, or you may want to try to schedule around?
I did not. Do you know what time that's at?
I don't. I'm on the Hive Life Facebook page. Let me see if I can find that. Came and just announced it the other day, along with a sponsor of it.
Craig, are you from Tennessee?
I'm in Columbia, Tennessee, which is 40 minutes south of Nashville.
Okay.
Yeah, I found the picture. I just need to find the actual post. And it may have the time. I want to say it was a little bit later, like 8 to 9, 8:30, 9:30, something like that.
Okay. If that's it, we should be okay.
Maybe we kind of fill in some space there, especially if we've got some free food. That might really get us a good conversation going. If we can figure that part out.
Yeah, I think I figured that part out, but I'm waiting so the hotel won't give us a menu to purchase from until shortly before, because apparently there's a lot of flex in the cost there.
Okay.
So
8:30 to 9:30 on Friday night.
I think that'd be okay. I'm in bed by 8, so our meeting was gonna. So no, so that's super. So what we're offering, Craig, for you and anybody, Mission Believe, and we also offered to Adam at Heroes to Hives, or anybody that wants to, is we're more than willing to either put on our table information about your organization, because we know it's not just Tennessee that's going to go there, it's pretty national. So there may be people from Maryland that can benefit from your program. Obviously, we won't be able to speak well to most of them, but we can certainly say, if you're from Maryland, here's a great program.
Well, so that's the thing is, with our program, we do a lot of stuff virtually, so we can reach farther than just our little home base, but that's the thing is, when we do the conference room, will we have the ability as Mission Believe to have a table and have information to talk about our program?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome.
We'll give everybody time to talk that's there, that wants it, and we'll be able to do a little tabling for it.
Awesome.
Now, just keep in mind, so the conference room is probably not going to be well occupied during the conference, because apparently the conference is in a very large auditorium that everybody stays in. We will have a conference table in that auditorium that you're welcome to put stuff on.
Awesome.
And then they're going to advertise, hey, for anybody who's interested in accessible or veteran beekeeping, go to this conference room in the hotel. They're going to have, let's say, hot dogs and chips and stuff. And it'll be from whatever time we need. We just need to drill down into that agenda a little bit. I'll have more details on that probably as we get closer.
Awesome.
But we plan to let everybody kind of do as much as they can in either area. And then Ned, were you planning on having some adaptive tech there to talk about too?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was imagining, was that we would have some various tools and devices. Like I was going to bring the hive lifter tongs, some smaller items like that for people to look at and touch and discuss with each other. Basically, we're picturing kind of a community of interest of anything regarding beekeeping with a disability. We'll use our table in the conference section to draw attention to this, but then we're hoping that there'll be some good conversations going on in that conference room later on in the day with some snacks to eat and stuff to look at. But the room will be open all day, right, Joe?
Yeah, we have the room all day.
So if we have somebody, maybe we'll just work it out, Joe, make sure that there's always somebody sort of staffing that room, but we can have the assistive technology there all day long and point people that direction if they want to go try it.
Yeah, absolutely. I just know one of the vendors, particularly Stevie from King Bee. He's going to bring down a top bar hive.
Okay.
Stevie's a Craig, so you know Stevie's an Amish carpenter in the area here. Excuse me. And so he's going to try to do an adaptive hive as well with some of his ideas, but he wants that by his table kind of during the day, and then I'll bring it over to the area when we have the larger conversations. I assume there's probably other vendors. Justin, I think, was going to do the same thing. He didn't have the ability to do split locations.
But it'll be kind of nice, you know, Joe, I'm thinking if we get there to the Hive Life and we're going through the vendor area and we see some other devices being advertised that would help somebody with a disability, to just hand them a card or a flyer and say, hey, we have a special room for beekeepers with, you know, injuries, illness, disability, and just invite people like that to come and check it out. Title the room something. I don't know what we call it. The Disability Community of Interest Beekeepers with Disabilities. I don't know. There's got to be something catchy that we could maybe come up with and make a little postcard to hand out, pointing people that direction during the day.
Yep, we'll get little flyers or something made up, and then we want to keep veteran in the name too, right? So everybody comes by that angle too, for Hives for Heroes and Heroes for Hives. But we'll figure it out. I'll send you a couple draft names after a few drinks tonight.
I don't know if anybody else on the call has ideas for what we could title this room or title this sub gathering, this specific group of people that we would be targeting at Hive Life. What does Justin Ruger call his?
He's accessible beekeeping.
Accessible beekeeping. Does that communicate the idea of disability to the common, to the public in general?
I think sticking with adaptive beekeeping is really the way to go, because people understand what adaptive beekeeping is.
Yeah.
You know, and adaptive doesn't mean you're only physically challenged. Sometimes it can be other challenges.
Yeah.
So
Do we want to put veteran in there, like veteran and adaptive beekeeping?
yeah, I would. Because, you know, to boast our networks is really, really important, because these veterans really need us. You know, our organizations, Mission Believe, Hives for Heroes, Heroes to Hives, we all are making a really big impact, you know, so there's definitely a need for our organizations.
How do we, I think that this is a conversation that Justin Ruger has really pushed, that there's a lot of organizations helping veterans specifically, but to broaden it to the idea that it's adaptive beekeeping for everyone, but also wanting to make sure that veterans all feel welcome.
I think you just put adaptive first then. Because then it's adaptive and veteran. So it speaks to everybody that has a need for adaptive technology and veterans, which may be both, right? You might have an adaptive need and be a veteran. But I like the idea of just keeping adaptive first.
Yeah, I like that term adaptive. Do people in the general public kind of have the concept, if they hear the word like adaptive sailing or adaptive skiing or adaptive beekeeping, that it's for somebody with a disability?
I don't know, Candace or Craig, you got any thoughts on that?
I think I'm thinking you might I'm thinking you might make your focus just adaptive.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And because veterans often have the hidden hidden disability, PTSD, anxiety, whatever it might be, but not necessarily always physical disabilities. I think just keeping it adaptive would be more overarching to what you guys might be, what your goal might be.
That's fair. That's fair. I don't have any issue with it. I'll
Just
send
a,
out a couple names.
just a suggestion, not a decision, but my thought.
I'm throwing some brainstorms into the chat. I don't know if everybody can see the chat, but I think if we've got time, Joe, let's keep thinking about this, because I've been in the disability services world for 24 years, so I don't know what resonates with the general public. I hear adaptive, I hear assistive technology. I know what it means.
How about disabilities and adaptive beekeeping?
This is Candy. The word disability is not received well in the agricultural community. I don't know, it'd be my understanding as well in the veteran community. That's not necessarily folks who are going to raise their hands up as I'm someone with a disability. So my sense would go more with the adaptive concept for veterans and friends of veterans or something along that line. But yeah, disabilities is a word that sometimes I say limitations, but I try not to use that word unless someone empowers me to use it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm in total agreement. Because sometimes, like Craig was saying, their disability, is hidden. And, and it's such a targeted word. And we're trying to repurpose that negative energy into something purposeful through beekeeping, But, maybe you can put like on your signage, adaptive beekeeping, and you can put like captions underneath what you're specializing your targets into, you know what I mean? Veterans, first responders, maybe people struggling with heavy weight, lifting high.
Limitations.
Sorry, I'm at my farm and it's really noisy around here. Instead of just having it, be adaptive beekeeping, veterans or whatever, you don't put that on there. Just do adaptive beekeeping, and then you can put target, like each table, kind of what people are doing, because some people are veteran and some of them are for people who are challenged with lifting and being able to stand for long periods of time and stuff like that.
Some people are just old.
Yeah, that's no, 100%.
You can't lift a box.
Yep.
How about something like that? If we would have a big title that says adaptive beekeeping, and then under it a subtitle, veterans, first responders, injury, illness, aging, arthritis, back injury, etc.
Yeah, exactly. I think that would be a great way to do it.
There you go.
That's good. No, I like that. That way you kind of do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very inclusive that way.
Perfect. Ned, did you have anything else, Ned?
No, just I'm getting really excited about this opportunity. I think it sounds really great, Joe. Your idea of having this sort of a congregation room. Oh, you know what? At the National Agribility National Training Workshop, they have what they call a hospitality room for the agribility staff. And they've got coolers of drinks and snacks and whatever different states bring their specialties. I don't know if that's a good word to use for this. Hospitality room, adaptive beekeeping hospitality room, veterans, first responders, come join us for a time of learning and sharing how to do beekeeping in
This
spite of your.
feels more to me like a focus group.
Yeah, it's a focus. Yeah, it is a focus group, really.
Yeah. I'll try to put together some flyers by November, or some ideas, maybe throw a few pictures of, from some of the organizations on there, and,
Mm-hmm.
and then we can kind of go from there with some signage and some other stuff. So, but that, Ned, the other thing it made me think of, since you brought up the National Training Workshop, is, do we want to do something at the NTW? So for those that aren't in agribility as a nonprofit has a once a year gathering. Our next one is in March 20 through 23 in Spokane, Washington. And I assumed we were going to do some sort of beekeeping discussion there, Ned. What is your thought on that?
Kind of rattling in my brain that we do something similar there, have a beekeeping focus group type of we could have it be a session during the presentation time, but then we could have a beekeeping dinner or something. I think they have there's a banquet one of the nights, but then the other night is just everybody go get dinner on your own, and we could have a beekeeping focus group dinner and pick a spot and just go have supper together somewhere, even at the hotel if we wanted to get a room and bring in food and welcome people.
Do we need to do that, or since we have a lot more flexibility at the NTW, just do an hour or 2 hour session like you did last year with Adam?
Yeah. We'll see you later, Candy. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I think doing the session is great, but I wonder if just maybe a little more of a downtime time to be together and chat and learn from each other in addition to the session would be a useful thing, or not, if that's overkill.
We can look at it. So did you want to do the session request for Tess, or did you want me to do the session request for Tess? And
I think if you would, are you doing other ones, Joe?
Yeah, I am, for veterans and other stuff. Do you want me to throw beekeeping in there as well?
Well, how about if you and I have a contest, and whoever's got the least can take on managing the beekeeping one? Sound good?
That's fine. There you go. And then just so you guys know, I will send out the NTW information to the group as well. Craig, I don't think you're on the group distro yet, but I'll add you to it. And I'll add you to it. I'll send out the information for it. And if anybody wants to present there, I'll include the information on how to present. So we at the National Agribility Project, we do presentations on a whole plethora of topics. Last year, I would just say, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Ned, it was kind of split where there was two rooms, maybe of veteran discussions that included everything from experience in veterans. I plan this year to try to get somebody from the SARE grants there to talk about SARE grant opportunities. and maybe the Small Business Association on how to do the Boots to Business program and some of the things they offer for veterans and beginning farmers. And then there is a very other side of the conference room last year, the conference center last year was a very detailed and great discussion on safety and adaptive devices. And then at times they kind of come together. Would that be kind of a good summary of it, you think, Matt?
Yeah, you kind of have sessions for focus groups. There's a lot of veteran emphasis and sort of general family related disability type opportunities and programs. And then there's the practical, here's assistive technology, different ways to accommodate and actually get the work done. So it's a good blend really of sessions of all types. So last year we had how to do a beekeeping assistive technology assessment. And we also had Adam Ingrio do a presentation on what Heroes to Hives is. What are you picturing for a good topic on beekeeping, Joe, for this year? Kind of a community of interest, what they would call an unconferencing session, where it's more a discussion amongst the people in the room with a facilitator asking conversation starter questions? Or were you picturing something more specific like the latest assistive technology for beekeepers?
I think an unconferencing session where it's more of a discussion, because I think I don't want to repeat just what we did a year ago. I would offer to Craig, if you guys want to present, we're more than open to that. I think, and again, Mission Believe, if you want to present as well, or have a table there. It's also a tabling opportunity for you to have a table there and people to come through. We usually have about 200 to 250 attendees. Usually we don't go virtual, so that we have kind of a closer discussion.
Yeah, keep us
so-
on that list. I would love to come and present.
Okay.
I'm wondering, Craig, I don't know if you've dropped off already or not, but
I'm still here.
do you have beekeepers that you're working with out in Washington State that might be interested in coming to this conference?
We do. I don't recall if there's a state lead out there, but I know that there's one nearby in Idaho. I'm not sure how close he is to Spokane. Spokane, isn't it?
Yes, Spokane's kind of in the west part of the state. So
Right,
actually
right.
people might be able to come.
But if you would include support at Hives for Heroes in the distrib for that, then we'd probably be able to sort that out.
Okay. They're on our distro, so they
Support is okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I wonder if Joe, maybe we do a beekeeping unconferencing session that's sort of a discussion, but then we could do another one and just have various beekeeping groups have an opportunity to present 10 or 15 minutes of what they do and how they help. Like if Justin Ruger and Craig and Mission Believe and others, just to sort of highlight to the group the different programs that are available. I don't know if kind of a collage per se.
Well, that actually makes a lot of sense. I mean, we could almost do it, I hate to say as a read that with the veteran farmers last year, where it's kind of a roundtable discussion, and they start off with, this is what I do, because Mattis Steuben is going to try to make it from Canada, and his perspective on beekeeping is kind of a right angle to mine, and that he's very much into the holistic nature and well-being nature. Hey, thanks, Craig. We'll send you an email. So he's got that holistic nature, Ned, and I'm gonna see if I can get Mattis to come as well.
That would give everybody that is present the opportunity to give a shout out to their programming and what they're doing, what we can learn from each other in the different programs. I think that Agribility's focus has sort of been on just gathering all the sort of a clearinghouse of everybody that's out there and what's going on, that we can learn from each other and not duplicate efforts. So maybe that can be a goal of the NTW.
No, super. Any thoughts on that, ma'am?
Yeah, actually, I think that is good that we all kind of stay as a network like that, because, we all kind of compile our ideas and things that we're working on and working towards. And like you said, not overlap, or be working together to compare notes on everything. So
What about if we did the first session with everybody given sort of their presentation of what their organization does, and then the next session, the next hour being the unconferencing discussion time?
So I think that's good. I'm not sure when Tess puts it together, how much flexibility we have to put them joined up, but I think she usually tries to leave it pretty themed together.
So if we could ask her, is say, we'd like to have these session 1 and session 2.
Yeah, I'll work with her on that. I know she has to wait till she gets all the presentation requests in.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, are you on our district? Are you even getting my email? So if I just
Oh, yeah.
send it out, you'll get that.
So my name is Monica, just so you don't have to call me ma'am. It's good.
Okay.
Monica, you gave a little talk a couple months ago on here, right?
Yeah.
I think I remember.
Yep, okay. Yeah, we're actually raising money to build a therapeutic bee house here because we want to have beekeeping accessible to everybody. And working with veterans, and I've used top bar hives, we've used all kinds of different stuff. I really feel the Slovenian hives are the way to go when someone is physically challenged, or can't stand up for a long period of time and can't lift, or you're pulling frames like a book.
Yeah.
So yeah, and we're in the process of building a house right now, but we're also the other half of our house, because AP therapy, I'm really into AP therapy, but the therapeutic side of our house is a meditation room where we have a screen wall, and we're able to fill the air from the beehive into the room, because it's been proven that the air actually helps relieve anxiety, depression, asthma, all kinds of different ailments. So we're creating a meditation room on the other half of the house, of the bee house. So
well, that
it's a
sounds
full
like that'll connect with Matt.
grounded therapeutic. Yeah. So we're really
Yep.
excited.
Monica, that's exactly what Mattis is trying to do with his nonprofit as well. Trying to get into that well-being, and he's got some meditation tapes he's trying to publish for that.
Yeah, we actually have been corresponding back and forth together.
Oh, great! I'm glad was it us that connected you? Do we get a little kudos for that?
Yes, 100%, 100%.
Makes the effort worth it.
Yeah, it's beekeeping is a very interesting thing. I've been in the beekeeping now long enough where I'm kind of past the science of it. I keep going. I go to every single conference I can. I learn. We're right here in Maryland. We work with the University of Maryland, and it's just the adaptive side of beekeeping is not really touched that much on, and the therapeutic side of beekeeping isn't touched that much upon. So now I go around and talk about the therapeutic side of beekeeping, why all of us are so addicted to these bees, because they naturally help us reconnect with ourselves and kind of let go of all the angst that's inside of us. And a lot of people miss that aspect of beekeeping. So
It
we like
doesn't
to tell
exactly
you
happen.
about that.
Raising pigs doesn't have exactly the same impact.
Oh, I bet not. I bet not. You know, it's like listening to the hum of the hive and understanding, you know, when you're getting distracted and you're moving frames and you're bumping bees because your brain is somewhere else, those bees will remind you quickly, hey, no, you're supposed to be right here focused on us. You
More
know, they
back.
don't let you forget. So it's really good therapy. So
Hey,
All right.
super. Hey, that's pretty much what I had. I think it's been a great discussion. No one is kind of working out and we're getting everything tied together. But I was going to mention to you, Monica, have you thought about putting in for a SARE grant? Because for this group, I put in a SARE grant for North Central that I hopefully we can have some money to get after some tangible items. I didn't know if you ever tried a SARE grant for.
no, I haven't tried a SARE grant. We're actually, because you know, we've been a nonprofit for 2.5 years now. And I was kind of trying just to see how we could self-fund it. And if we could go self-fund it, it really can't, because we're opening our program up so far and we provide a textbook, and that textbook is $30. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So every person that we educate gets a textbook. They have to have that textbook, you know.
Joe, did your SARE grant get past the first round?
I don't know yet. So his pre-proposals were due, I think last week. I submitted it, but it was due last week.
Okay. Yeah, I was working on one with Betty from North Carolina, and hers got turned down. So hopefully you got better success and can get past that.
Yeah, so did Justin's. Justin put in one too, and his got turned down.
Yeah, but that's, you know, and that's the numbers with grants like that, though. You just got to keep trying, you know, find what grants fit and keep trying for them.
Yeah,
And if you're ever going for any grants that you need reference letters or anything like that, you know, please don't hesitate to reach out.
no, absolutely. I did get 2 grants for my nonprofit with specialty crop and helping
nice.
veterans because honey's a specialty crop.
Yep.
So
Well,
that's-
Justin, or Joe, I'm just thinking for next time, if we could have a draft flyer to go through for the Hive Life room. And then by then we have to have our session proposals in for the NTW, so everybody will kind of know what to expect there. It would be really great to have a contingent of beekeepers show up from the North Pacific Northwest, local people coming in together for the NTW. And then I don't know what else you would have on the agenda. I was thinking about at some point showing all the senior design projects that the mechanical engineers have worked on over the years for me regarding to beekeeping.
I did invite the beekeeper I mentioned in the text, Alex.
Oh, from California.
From California, who does the bees with
Good.
almond pollination.
Oh, good.
To speak. So, but we may have time for all.
Well, no, just keep that in mind for future meetings.
No, absolutely. Okay, it's been a great discussion. Monica, Arnett, did you guys have anything else? I'll send out kind of a note on it. And I think the next meeting will be on the 18th, so we don't interfere with Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I just wanted to really find out about how much of a presence we could have, so I would know what to bring with me to the conference. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right, great. All right, thank you guys. Well, you guys have a great day. And
I'm going to be in Ethiopia on the 18th, Joe, but you can handle the call.
Okay, thanks.
Well, have fun in Ethiopia.
All right. Yeah, maybe I'll see some bees there.
Yeah, bring back some honey.
They,
All right.
they actually have some interesting techniques in Africa for beekeeping if you do get a chance.
They do. They do. Hopefully you'll get to experience some of that.
See what I can learn.
Yeah, yeah. Bring it
All
back.
right.
There might be something good there.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Have a
everybody.
good
Yeah,
afternoon.
your eyes peeled.
You too.
Bye, guys. Have a good night.